Alrighty, yo, I can't believe I'm actually going to be doing this, but obviously it's been a while since I kind of talked about this, and I know a lot of you guys that are probably coming into this channel are kind of coming in freshly new due to some of the shorts that I've been putting up in regards to WrestleMania 41 that was in Las Vegas. Yes, a lot of you guys did know from my previous video a couple months back. I think it was before Elimination Chamber. I think I made like one video kind of talking about me not really being hyped for WrestleMania 41, and then obviously that completely changed with Elimination Chamber and all the buildups that they're actually doing. And I do apologize in advance if my voice sounds really, really low or really, really muffled. It's just, man, y'all, like I really just came back from Vegas, and even the time that I'm recording this right now, I believe it's Thursday the 24th. So it has been a couple of days since WrestleMania, but my voice is still straught, like from that night, from those two nights actually, well, mainly night two. But I did want to kind of just talk about my overall experience in regards to attending WrestleMania, because I know I wasn't able to do that when WrestleMania was here in California 2 years ago, WrestleMania 39. So yeah, like I kind of wanted to give my little experience in regards to just the entirety of the weekend for me. I know a lot of people see me as like a quote unquote wrestling fan within my friend group, so they thought that I was going to be staying there like the full weekend because I know they had SmackDown, the two nights of WrestleMania, Stand and Deliver. Then they had I believe it was Monday Night Raw, and then they had NXT on that day too. And man, my voice sounds really weird right now. I really do apologize. Give me 1 second here. There we go. I think that should be back to normal. I really have like a really lump on my throat just because it's still sore from like all the screaming, the singing, the booing that I did. But yes, like a lot of, like I was mentioning, a lot of people thought that I was going to be staying there the full weekend, but no, I only went for the 2 days of WrestleMania. So I went for Saturday, Sunday, and I actually left Las Vegas Monday to come back to work for me because I started work again on Tuesday. So I was only able to be there for the 2 nights in and of itself, which for me was really, really fun. For a lot of you guys who are wondering how much I paid for the event, I know there's like a video of a fan kind of talking to Randy Orton, and he was shocked as to how big the prices were. I know I accidentally messed up in regards to buying my tickets in advance when they were still like peak price. So I know I actually went with my brother. So for 2 tickets for 2 nights was, I believe it was like 2,800, so $2,800. And if you guys hear that price, you might be thinking that I was like in the lower bowl or close to like floor seating. I was completely nowhere near that. We were in section, I believe it was 413, which was literally like the nosebleeds. So the fact that, you know, the tickets that I bought cost that much for nosebleeds was pretty insane. But like I do mention, I kind of messed up because I know later on within the weekend of WrestleMania, I was actually looking at prices, and there were some seats that were kind of like similar to where we were sitting that were at like the $600, $700 mark. So if I would have risked it like a lot of my friends do and gotten my tickets a lot later, I would have definitely gotten them cheaper. But in my mind, I wanted to get the tickets like as soon as possible because I wanted to guarantee that I was going to WrestleMania. And then I know a lot of people are probably asking where I stayed in Vegas. The hotel that I actually stayed at was called the Hampton Inn Tropicana, which was really, really nice, yo. Like I really liked that hotel a little bit more just because it was literally down the street from Allegiant Stadium. So I know it took us like 10 minutes walking distance from the hotel to the venue, so we didn't have to Uber it. We didn't have to pay for event parking. We didn't even have to do that much driving or anything, like or even like I was mentioning Ubering it, which I know Ubering it over there at Vegas was pretty expensive because we took like a 5 to 10 minute Uber, and that was like $15-$20. So we kind of saved ourselves there. I know the hotel was still pretty pricey in and of itself. It was like close to $800 for the 2 nights because we got there check-in Saturday and we actually checked out Monday morning. So I feel like altogether, like the actual trip in and of itself, like the tickets for the event and the hotel was close to, if I'm doing the math right, it was like 3,600 or 3,600. And then in and of itself, like the amount of money I spent at Vegas, if you guys are actually curious, because I know I kind of just spent money on like merchandise at the venue as well as just food in general, because I know I wanted to get like the Las Vegas I was there WrestleMania shirts. I know I got my brother a hat, and then obviously the food that we ate later, we didn't go to no fancy places in Vegas. We were kind of sticking to the bare basics because near our hotel there was stuff like McDonald's, Wendy's, there's like an In-N-Out across the street, there's a Jack in the Box. So we're kind of just going for the less expensive things to kind of not have to pay too much money. So I think if I'm totaling everything, like my actual 2-day trip, or if you want to count Monday as well, all of that stuff all together kind of cost me $4,000. So it was really crazy as to like how much this actual trip cost me, and I want to be a bit more like money happy with you guys with like how much it costs to go to an event like this. because at the end of the day, it does kind of range depending on people. Because I know there's content creators out there who spent the 30 plus thousand dollars to get like floor seats at WrestleMania. But for me, I just kind of wanted to experience the event the best way and the most affordable way, and that was the most affordable way, which was being in the bleachers. And for a lot of you guys, or the nosebleeds, I should say, but for a lot of you guys who have been looking at the actual shorts that I've been putting up, you guys could kind of see that being at the nosebleeds isn't too bad because you actually get a pretty big view of the entire arena. I know my biggest fear was not being able to see the wrestlers because I know for WrestleMania 39 they had like that ring at the very top with the screens for you to be able to watch, and I didn't see that here until those little squares that they have on top of the ring became the screens, which is really nice for those who have difficulty viewing from that distance. But I feel like at the end of the day, the seats that I got, although they were still pretty pricey, I really did enjoy it. And then even talking about the event, right? I know there's a lot of content creators who are already kind of discussing everything that happened. Obviously, night one and night two were two very separate things. I know night one was definitely not as good as night two. I personally feel like, and I feel like a lot of people have come to the consensus that night two was the better of the two. Obviously, the main event of night one was a lot better than the main event of night two because of the whole Travis Scott and John Cena thing. But overall match quality, I do feel like I enjoyed it night two a little bit more, and I'm really excited to see what the future has in store for a lot of these things. Because I know for me as a fan, I really enjoyed the event. I feel like I enjoyed this one maybe just a tiny bit more than WrestleMania 39 when I came to Los Angeles, just because of like the star power and the individuals wrestling. I know 39 for me was really special because that was like Edge's last WrestleMania with WWE, and I know for this one, and I was actually finally able to see one of my favorite wrestlers, at the time, which is Randy Orton. I finally got to see him wrestle after so many times of going to events and him not appearing. And then obviously this one being the last time John Cena was going to, perform or wrestle at WrestleMania. So there's like a lot of sentimental value between the two. And I know it's even crazy because I know, like I mentioned, I do live in California, and they already have two events lined up for California. One being Money in the Bank in June, and then the other one being I think Survivor Series in November in San Diego. So there's a lot of events that I'm gonna be looking forward to, and hopefully I could post more about those when I go to it. Just because I know this channel that I have isn't necessarily WWE based, right? It's just like a gaming and funny moments and whatever I want to talk about. But I just thought that I would give like a brief rundown as to like the cost for WrestleMania, because like I'm mentioning, a lot of people are kind of curious, and for all of you guys who are wondering, it's like if you're really set on going to one of these events and if you want to risk it, the best time to actually get tickets is like the day of the event or the day before, maybe even like the day of, because I know there was someone on Twitter who was able to get like almost floor seats for like $600 because he bought the tickets like an hour into the event when like a lot of the resellers just kind of dropped the price because they're trying to get rid of the tickets. So for a lot of you guys who like want to go to some of these events, that's kind of what you should also do, because I know when I go to these events, a lot of people mention that they buy their tickets like an hour or two before the event because that's where like the interest is really low, and like a lot of the resellers, like I mentioned, are trying their hardest to get rid of these expensive tickets. So resellers tend to really drop the price to a lot of these things. So overall, I feel like I enjoyed the event. Like there really isn't much I could say that the other content creators haven't mentioned. Obviously, a lot of the matches were really well implemented, a lot better than I actually thought. Obviously night two for me was a lot better, which is the reason why my voice is gone, because there was just a lot more going on in night two that had me jumping up and down. Obviously, like a lot of the matches, like the Fatal 4-Way was really good, the Triple Threat was really good, Joe Hendry being there was really good, the entire John Cena stuff, even though the match wasn't good, I was really hyped and I was screaming my lungs out, as you could tell from the shorts. So I really did enjoy this WrestleMania, and I'm glad that I was able to be part of history of like seeing. Obviously, it was tainted because of Travis Scott, but being able to see John Cena in his last WrestleMania and be able to actually get the 17th world title was really special, and I can't believe I was actually there to witness that. So hopefully, there's going to be a time where WrestleMania comes to like a neighboring city again, because I know I always make that comment that if WrestleMania is within the neighboring cities of California, I will take the drive. Obviously, if it's like somewhere completely across the globe, I ain't going to be doing that. But if it's somewhere like really close, like like the Las Vegas, the Arizonas, Utahs, maybe even as far as Washington, like I would do something like that. But fingers crossed, there's a lot more of these things happening within the area of California, so I don't have to dish out too much money, because like I mentioned, having to pay a total of like almost $3,600 in order to get just tickets and hotels was an insane price to pay. But I'm glad I was able to, save up a lot of money for something like that. And hopefully, if I hear some news about where WrestleMania What I meant to say before I was cut off by my mic shutting out is just basically that I'm hoping that I get to hear some more news as to where WrestleMania will be within these upcoming years. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be anywhere close to me for the foreseeable future, but fingers crossed I could keep on saving up for these events. Or maybe, like, I hope it's not something next year too, because I really do want to give myself a break from wrestling the upcoming year, and obviously a break from my piggy bank or my bank account from having to pay too much money. But for all of you guys who were in attendance, what did you guys think about WrestleMania? Did you guys have a favorite moment? And at the end of the day, for all of you pro wrestling fans, where do you feel like the landscape of wrestling is going to be going within these upcoming months? Because I know John Cena as a champion, there's a lot of implications. Jey Uso as champion has a lot of implications. So there's a lot of things that are pretty interesting happening, and I just hope that they're able to do the booking well, so that way we could remain intrigued. But yes, this was just me kind of rambling about the cost of WrestleMania and my experience and what I thought about it. Obviously, I'm not gonna go match by match by match because that would just take too much time out of everybody. And there's content creators out there who have already discussed everything, word for word, bar for bar, for what I would probably say about some of those matches. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this quick little ramble. If you guys are wrestling fans, hopefully you guys enjoyed my shorts from the audience reaction or the audience singing or even hearing my terrible voice singing some of the songs. So yeah, if there's anything interesting that you guys would like me to do wrestling wise, always let me know, because I do tend to keep up with wrestling. But with that being said, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna finally let my voice rest so that way I could get back to work as well, because my throat is killing me still. So hopefully y'all are having a really good day. I'm glad the WrestleMania season's over, and let's see where all of this goes in the near future. Peace out, y'all.